Hey everybody, welcome to this video. This video is going to be stating the differences between both of my two D22s, as you can see here. I know multiple people have already stated the differences between these, the B series core, older one right here, and the A series or newer one right here. So I'm just going to state the differences on mine, just because I have nothing else to do. But I'm going to start with the older one, the B series core. As you can see, it's partially taken apart at the moment because I'm in the process of hooking up this shaded pull motor from this fan here to like run it at like 1725, whatever RPM, whatever these are rated for. So soon I'll upload a video about that. Anyways, you can, as you can probably tell, if for people that own the single phase variant or older one as I do, you can see weights on the top rotor, and of course the bottom rotor does too. But something I noticed, main difference between these two is the rotor spins two different ways. Because I'm not 100% sure which way they spin, but I believe this one spins this way. It might, and this one spins the counter opposite. Which, that's one thing I noticed, but it's kind of obvious because they're both using two different motors. This one uses a Dayton fan motor. I'm not sure what kind of motor though. That's all I know. It's Dayton fan motor in there. And since it's a shaded pole, unlike this one, it does not have a capacitor, and it's just a wiring box right there. So that's something. This one uses a Samsung PSC motor. If you don't know what PSC means, that means permanent split capacitor motor, which explains why the box on this one's a little bit bigger, because that actually holds a capacitor, while this one just holds wiring. Which I also noticed on these fan motors, this box, it comes with it. While this one, Edon printed that with the Siren, I believe. But yeah. Another thing I noticed about the rotors here is the top rotor on this one does not have weights, which it doesn't really need them anyway because it's already ball bearing. Yes, these are ball bearing. This is sleeve bearing, so of course it doesn't wind down as long. So that's the main difference. The size and all, horns, rotor, and stuff like that, it's completely the same. As Edon stated in a Facebook posts about the newer one and stuff, versus the old one, whatever. There's not a lot of differences between these two, aside from the motor and stuff. This is really the only main difference. Everything is practically the same, again, aside from the motor, but there's not really much to say. I mean, this one does have one of the fake damper boxes, while this one's just a plain 2T22. Sorry, my room ran into my door. The color, of course, is the same. Or not the same, sorry. They're different. This one's a maroon red, or whatever kind of red you call it. This one's just American color, which is red, white, and blue, obviously. In terms of RPM and stuff, I know Edon also stated this in his Facebook post. This one, the older one, reaches about 3,200 RPM, 3,200, or something close to that, which is not the normal speed of a 2T22, but close. While the newer one reaches the full 3,450, or whatever he stated. In terms of weight between the two, the weights is pretty similar, but I do say that the shaded pull is slightly heavier. I just through carrying both of these. The plug and everything's the exact same. It's just that this one has a rating on it right here. Well, this one doesn't. Yeah, not really much else to say about these two because they're almost the same thing, just mainly rotor. But here, I'm gonna drag these two over to my power cord real quick, so I can show you that the rotors spin different ways or motors, whatever. So, let me just drag this over a little bit. So here we have the old one. I'm gonna plug it in for just a brief second so you can see which way the rotor turns. So here, you can see it spins this, or no, it spins this way, so I was right. So you can see it spins that way. So let's place this back. And again, something I noticed with the motors is that you see those end motor bells right there at the end of the motor, right there. Those actually aren't a part of the motor. Those are just separate parts. Those are plastic. So that's not actually a part of the motor for people that were wondering. So let's pull this one over, replace one. So this one will not spin counterclockwise. This one spins clockwise, I believe. So let's just spin this one up again. This one winds up right away, so it's gonna be hard to just let it wind down a bit. Stop it. Yep. You can see it spins this way, which is clockwise, I believe. That one's opposite. So, which also something I noticed between these two in terms of height. Yes, the height is different. You can slightly see that's not the horns being different size. The horns are the exact same. The older one is very slightly taller than the older one, or the newer one. I keep getting these mixed up. Which is actually pretty realistic because the single phase ones were known to be a little bit taller. Which, I mean, yeah, kind of obvious, but yeah, not really much else to say. I guess I could do a little blast of both of them. This one might not, I will do a different wind down video of these two. It's gonna be make a little bit more sense and stuff because this one has the top intake off, which probably allows it to get more intake, which will probably make it wind down faster. But I'm just gonna blast this one full blast real quick so you can kind of get a representation of the average wind down on this. So, aka decent fan motor. So, yeah, I'll just blast this real quick. It also takes a second to go too. So, yeah, here we go. So yeah, there's that. The thing was pretty loud. I'm not wearing anything over my ears right now. No headphones or anything. So yeah, that was pretty loud. In terms of loudness too, this one right here at 10 feet, I believe, is, I don't really remember, but I believe it's somewhere around 116, 115, something like that. So that's around that. I'm not 100% sure. It says on his website how loud they are at 10 feet. So whatever it is, this one, the newer one, is only about 0.9 decibels louder than the older one. So it's just barely louder. So loudness is practically the same. It's just the wind up, wind down stuff's different. So yeah, this one will wind up right away. So yeah, blast this real quick. All right, here we go. There you go. So wind down speed but between both of them, I believe that one is about 15 seconds-ish on average, and this one's about 45 seconds. If you could hear in the video, the top intake cone was rattling around a bit because the top intake cone support, this thing right here, it's like worn down so much for the amount of times I've taken it apart. It's so loose, so that's kind of a downside, but you can also see I've added a washer right there to help, which that only helped for about a couple of days, which it's not a bad thing at all. I don't really care. I actually kind of find it funny and cool, so put this thing back. Both of them are pretty equally loud. You don't really need hearing protection for both of them if you're right next to it, but just don't blast them for like 3 minutes without hearing protection. I'd recommend hearing protection for that long. Which, if you remember, from November last year, I blasted this one for 3 minutes. Not only because I just wanted to, I also did that because to break in the motor and stuff, which it definitely did. It wound down for a good 40 seconds-ish that day. So yeah, I guess that's good. If I were to spin this up slightly by hand, yeah, winds down for a while while this one barely moves. I know this video is getting pretty long, but I noticed when I timed both of these with my phone that I'm recording on right now, I timed both of these when both the motors were decently hot, not hot enough from where they'll die, but warm enough to where the wind downs will change, and such, which it was actually very surprising, as when the motor's hot, you'd expect this one to wind down longer, right? Well, that's vice versa. This one wound down about 2 seconds longer-ish, because they both wound down for about 35 seconds, which the reason this one wound down longer was because, if you know, heat makes metal expand, and cold makes it, like, unexpand, or whatever, however you pronounce it. Which, for ball bearing, the balls, I know this sounds weird, but the balls are not as big when they're not expanded, if that makes sense. So it winds down longer, but when they're expanded, it does not wind down for as long, as far as I'm aware. So that's what made this one wind down for about 10 seconds less. But this one, since it's shaded pole and uses sleeve bearings or bushings, whatever you say, aside from ball bearing, this one, since it's like when it's warmer, it relieves the tension or whatever, so it winds down for longer, if that makes sense. So that's kind of a short explanation on why this one winds down longer when it's warmer, if that makes sense. And if you also notice it, I also noticed it on the shaded pole motor here I'm messing around too with. When I first put it together, it didn't wind down for very long, but even it's still hot right now. When it's leaning forward, it winds down for a lot longer. But right now, it's not really winding down for as long. But that's just a short little explanation on why it winds down for longer. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the differences between these two. Again, my upload schedule and stuff is going to be decreased a lot, as I said in a recent post, because school's starting. So, yeah. I hope to still upload during the school year, but last school year I was not able to upload almost at all. When I did upload, it was just crappy old cringy shit. So, yeah, I'm gonna plan to keep uploading as much as I can while school starts. But if you don't see my videos for like a month, that's just because school's like bad and stuff. So don't expect giant upload gaps, or well, yeah, you should expect them because school's starting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the differences on these things video. So yeah, peace out. But wait, what? I forgot to say something. Okay. So the thing I was about to say is, after this video gets uploaded, I will be posting videos about both of these sounding off, but the things I did, which with this one, while it was going, I held onto the shaft, which slowed it down a little bit while I was going, and I made it run at a pitch to make it sound like it actually was single phase, because if you don't know, which in a video I'll post will kind of show that in a way. The single phase variant here runs a little bit over the speed. How would I explain this? This thing runs a little bit over the speed of what single phase would actually sound like, which in a video I'll post later. Well, it's when I slow down the motor to make it sound like it's single phase, and then I let it wind up to full pitch, and you'll see. Not really anything much different on these two, aside from uploading videos. I will be uploading a video on this one, where it's sitting on its side right here on the horns, which is where it was sitting before this video started. And the undertones that it gives off is crazy. It makes it sound pretty cool. So yeah, I'll be uploading that after this video, maybe day after or hours, I don't know, whenever I will. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. If there's something that I didn't state in this video, that'll be in those other videos. I'll just put it in the description. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So yeah, peace out.